Yes, people, what's happening? Welcome back to the channel and welcome to another live stream. Chelsea news and match reaction as well to the 2-1 win against Brighton last night. 4 wins on the bounce, unbeaten in the last 5 and moving into the top 6 of the Premier League as well, thanks to Newcastle's loss to Man United. So things are on the up for us, people. Things are on the up. Yeah, I mean, away end was great last night. Last one of the season, fantastic atmosphere, great support. And the boys put in a really good performance, a really professional performance. Brilliant header from Cole Palmer. Great to see Christopher Nkunku get back on the score sheet as well. Good performances from Malo Gusto. Obviously, Reece James's red card was the only downer on the evening. He'll obviously be banned for the last game and the first 3 games of next season as well, which is not great. We're going to dive into Reece and his discipline and whatnot a little bit later on. We've got all the latest from Chelsea for Chelsea's end of season review, which will determine the future of Mauricio Pochettino. Pochettino believed to have key backing from backing from key members of the board. We've got all the latest on Chelsea. Have been apparently watching Leeds winger Somerville, one of a number of clubs to have watched Somerville, who's recently named Championship Player of the Year. Ahead of a potential summer move. Growing confidence now that Mauricio Pochettino is going to stay at the club. And lots more to get into. Chelsea's new bid for Esteval Willian will be in excess of the release clause. We obviously know why that will be. Cole Palmer's backing the manager, saying that all the players love him. Things finally seem to be coming together at Chelsea, guys. Things seem to be coming together. You know, the form in the second half of the season has been massively improved. And yeah, we're the 4th best team in the league since Boxing Day. We've moved up. We were 10th at the halfway point of the season. We're now 6th with 1 game to go. The team is getting better. The goal difference has got better. We've won more. We're 6 places higher in the table. It's incredible, isn't it? Absolutely incredible. It really is. Nine better goal difference, 10 more points than we had in the first 19 games. Things are absolutely on the up. And yeah, I think someone's pointed out in the chat, the Poch outers who I did kind of call out last night on Chelsea Fan TV, maybe a bit aggressively in the heat of the win with the adrenaline going, but I stand by it. We're now playing well, and the goalposts have moved. It's now, the improvement's only been over the last 5 games. No, it hasn't. It's been over the whole calendar year. Yeah, there's been some poor results in there. The Arsenal being thrashed by Arsenal, losing against Wolves, losing to Liverpool, and the draws at Burnley and Sheffield United and whatnot. But the team has improved. The facts are there. You cannot deny that the team has improved. But obviously, the Poch outers will just constantly move the goalposts on all this. But yeah, anyway, guys, big up to everyone that's locked in. Make sure you're smashing that thumbs up button. Really important. Let's get those likes up. And of course, subscribe to the channel if you are new around here. We're racing towards 10K. So make sure if you're locked in now and you're not subscribed, you hit that subscribe button, guys. And and become part of the community and help me get towards 10K. Happy to see blue balloons from Nkunku. Yep, absolutely. Palmer's got 22 goals this season. Yep, brilliant. Yeah, Christo's back. He's back. We saw the blue balloon for the first time in his Chelsea career. Fantastic to see that. Not heard anything from them. They're just moving goalposts. So it's not about an us or them, but it's quite funny how when people's narrative kind of gets disproved or is looking wrong, they'll then shift the goalposts to then try and suit their narrative. It is funny. No, of course not getting carried away, but the signs of progress are undeniable. No one can say we're not making progress because we absolutely are. Guys, there's so much stuff coming in. I'll try and get through a few more of these. I wonder if the owners will sign an experienced defender. Let's wait and see. If it's a chance for your team to win the league, if your rivals win, then of course you're going to be supporting them. If we needed Spurs to win us the title, then obviously I'd be supporting Spurs, just like I'd be supporting Arsenal in that situation or anyone in that situation. Oh yeah, Anthony Taylor, of course, in charge for the last game. What else have we gone? Yeah, I am. Because, there are clear signs of improvement. Not only that, the managerial market is also particularly poor. There's no denying it. And the players love him, and we're making progress, and the team are starting to come together, and things are starting to click. Yes, big up my guy. Also, guess we might as well keep Poch. Yeah, we absolutely might. We absolutely should. We absolutely should. To be fair, it has happened a few times. I can understand it. To be honest, I haven't watched the highlights. I haven't watched the highlights of the game, so I haven't actually seen the incident. By all accounts, it was a red card. It was stupid or whatever. It's just frustration, and it's something that obviously he needs to stamp out of his game, because he's been sent off 2 times in 5 starts this season. It's his 3rd ban for discipline issues. He got sent off against Newcastle for 2 bookings. He'd been sent off last night, and then he served a 1-match ban as well for, I think, foul and abusive language towards a referee in a game against Villa earlier in the season. In a game he wasn't even playing in. But yeah. Anyway, let's dive into things, people. Let's dive into things. We're going to start with some transfer news. Let's do that. We'll start with some transfer news because Chelsea are preparing a new bid for Brazilian wonder kid Estevão Willian, the 17-year-old Palmeiras winger. Chelsea's new bid for Estevão will be in excess of the €55 million release clause. Chelsea will proceed like that to get better payment terms, and more than 40% of the potential final fee will come in add-ons. Chelsea already did the same with Nicholas Jackson's release clause last summer. So, look, I don't really know where I stand with this. To be perfectly honest, I don't know an awful lot about Estevão. People that know a lot more than myself, people that watch a lot of South American football, think this kid's legit. He's the real deal. People saying he's better than Endrick. Look, Chelsea view, having missed out on Endrick, which I think they were disappointed about, Chelsea view Estevão as a generational talent and an opportunity that they can't afford to miss out on. So, look, if the scouting department, believe he's got ability and he's the right guy, and they want him, then they're going to go and sign him, and we'll have to wait and see what the plan is and what happens. It does seem a lot of money to pay for a 17-year-old. Without the release clause, is he worth that much money? I don't know the answer to that, is the honest truth. But it's a lot of money to commit to a 17-year-old. Of course, with more than 40% of the potential fee coming in add-ons, it means that some of it might not even be met, or it could be a significant amount of time before those add-ons are achieved, and therefore that money is paid. So, look, I think it's all in all, it could be a good deal. I've seen clips of this kid, but I haven't got enough to give you a proper rounded opinion on whether, how good he really is. I know that him and Paez were playing against each other last night in a Copa Libertadores. So yeah, let's wait and see what happens. But again, it's a lot of money to commit to spending on a 17-year-old. And the reality is, like the same with with Kendry Paez, there's no way of telling, how good these guys are going to be. Look, they're obviously looking very good. Kendry Paez looks like a top player. What he's doing, as a 16, 17-year-old, playing week in, week out for his club. He's a full Ecuadorian international. He looks legit. But the step up from the Premier League to the Premier League from the South American League is huge, absolutely huge. And it's going to take these guys time. So, there shouldn't be pressure put on these young players who have been, through no fault of their own, have been billed as generational talents and whatnot. They're going to come into Chelsea in 2025 when they're 18. And, it's going to take them some time. Maybe they will go on loan in Europe, maybe they will need to go on loan to gain some experience and get themselves ready for the Premier League. As I've said many times before, there needs to be a clear development pathway, and no, they're not. There was a rumor doing the rounds that they were, but Bayern haven't put anything together at all for Esteval, and it looks like Chelsea are gonna wrap that deal up pretty quickly. Yes, evening, mate. How you doing? Well, you can join the queue behind all our other Wonder Kids. Yeah, there's quite a few. This again wouldn't count onto this season's books. It would go on to the next round of FFP, so it wouldn't be an issue. He must have great potential. Yeah, by all accounts he does. By all accounts he does. Look, I think, of course, you are signing potential with a 17-year-old. No one at 17 is a finished article. Very well, no one is. It's difficult. It's difficult to tell. But it's going to be interesting. Like, there's always excitement when you're signing players and whatnot. But again, there's a huge risk. A huge risk. There's no denying it. There's a huge risk involved with a transfer like this. There's risks involved with all transfers, but particularly when you're signing players so young, their bodies haven't fully developed. You don't know what changes they're going to go through. You don't know how they're going to adapt to a new country, new style, new way of living, new league, new everything. It's a very young age to leave and to up sticks and go elsewhere at such a young age. There's all these things that people don't think about. But look, he's clearly a talented boy. People that know a lot about him rave about him. A lot of people say that he's more talented than Endrick, who's gone on to Real Madrid, who's a full Brazilian international already. So yeah, I mean, there's reason to be excited. There's reason to be, have good feelings about this. But at the same time, I can understand why people might be slightly reserved about it. Of course, I don't want to give a full opinion until I know more about him. I am doing a video with a Brazilian football expert about Esteval, which should be dropping on the channel tomorrow, guys. So there'll be a bit more of an in-depth discussion surrounding Esteval, the player. He's like the potential Chelsea's business in South America and whatnot. So I'm recording that, and that should be on the channel tomorrow afternoon at some point. Yeah, bro. I think there will be Premier League proven signings as well. These again, what a lot of people get confused with is that this money being spent here is not being taken out of the first team budget and being put towards teenagers. These, what you would call developmental signings, are it's a separate budget. So this is not being taken away from the first team. He'll go on loan. I don't know what the plan is. Look, again, Paez, Esteval, there needs to be a clear pathway, because as I've said before, there's Mudryk, there's Madueke, there's Nkunku, there's Palmer, there's Angelo, there's Hutchinson, there's Paez. There might be Esteval, there's Raheem Sterling still that are on the books. Do you know what I mean? There's so many of these guys, so many. What Chelsea's doing is just play the law of, look, they are, it's law of averages. The more shit you throw at the wall, the more that's going to stick. So, that's essentially what they're doing. The more, it's like, back in the day of Pokemon cards, the more packs you buy, the more chance you're going to get of getting, the cards that you want. Maybe it's the same with this. I mean, maybe footballers aren't quite the same as Pokemon cards, but you get what I'm saying. Like, the more players you bring in, the more likelihood are that some are going to succeed rather than others. Look, brother, I don't know an awful lot about him, if I'm being perfectly honest, but by all accounts, people that do know a lot about him say he's legit. People think he's better than Endrick. who's a full Brazilian international, who's on his way to Real Madrid. So, you know, that's rave reviews. Great result for us on Wednesday. Shame James still hasn't grown up. I wouldn't strip him of the captaincy. I think I'm going to get into this later on, but I think people are going way over the top with this. No, I love, bro. I appreciate it. You're right, mate. This chopping and changing manager is not sustainable. No, it's not sustainable at all. Yeah, absolutely, mate. Absolutely. I've been banging the Ivan Toney drum for a long time. I just think he'd be perfect for Chelsea. You know, experience, leadership. Knows the Premier League. Is a proven goal scorer in the league with better players around him. I think he'd do the business. But again, you know, Chelsea and Ivan Toney's gone very quiet. Ivan Toney in general, a move away from Brentford has gone very, very quiet. So it's going to be interesting. Again, it's not about how old the players are. It's about the experience and the leadership, you know. Age doesn't equate to experience. It doesn't. You can be a 22, 23-year-old player with over 100, 200 games, under your belt. It's not about age. It's about getting the right experience and the right leadership. What else have we got going on here? Yes, big up, brother. Did you see Omari did a farewell video to Ipswich Town? I thought he would stay there on loan too. Look, I think there's every chance he will. Maybe another Premier League club is in for him, unless he's in Poch's plans. I don't know. I mean, look, Madueke and Sterling on that left side, right side. Sorry, you've got Nkunku and Mudryk on the left, or you know, you can have Palmer or whatever. I think it's just saying a thank you anyway. That doesn't mean that he won't be back. Yes, no, thank you, bro. I appreciate it. We need to get a striker in with experience. It's important. We need experience in our team in the summer. Yeah, I would agree. It almost does feel like we're playing Football Manager. It does feel that to a degree. I'm not saying I don't want him. I'm just saying I'm a little bit cautious about it because you don't know what these players are going to develop into. But also, how many times have we heard so-and-so is going to be the next Ronaldo, so-and-so is going to be the next Messi, and it literally never happens. You know, we need to stop putting so much pressure on these kids. Like, you know, I know it's a media thing and it's a fan thing, you know, and they get dubbed certain names. I get it, but you know, it's not helpful. It's not helpful. It really isn't helpful. But look, you know, I'm not saying I don't want him. I'm just saying, you know, it's all very well identifying these talents and getting these talents, great, but are you displaying a clear pathway for these guys to get into the first team on a regular basis? Because all I'm seeing right now is a mass hoarding of talent, and we have got so many wide players at the club. Of course, some are gonna move on or whatnot potentially, but yeah, for me, it just feels like I get what the plan is, but it also feels like there's no plan in terms of giving these guys a clear development pathway to the first team. But do you know what? I'm not paid to make those decisions. I'm not working for the football club. Those decisions aren't for me. But you know, they need to be thinking about how are we going to get a pathway into the team for these guys. What does it mean for the talented youngsters at Cobham that, you know, we're going out spending 30, 40, 50 million quid on 17-year-olds from around the world, but yet in our own backyard, we produce very, very good footballers, but we don't appear to be trusting them. You know, what are we doing on that front also? Caicedo on fire as well. Yeah, we're going to dive into that. He was superb last night. You know, Blonde Moises putting in a big performance. You know, despite being booed all game, he silenced the critics with another masterclass. And you know what? Haters will hate, but real ones know. Caicedo's been class for us. He's been really, really good. And you know, if you think Caicedo's not been good, you're just jumping on an agenda, or you don't watch Chelsea. It's as simple as that. The kid's been an absolute baller for us, certainly since the turn of the year. Yes, big up, brother. Chelsea need to be very careful when recruiting a striker. We don't want to end up with guys that can't score. Yeah, look, we need to get it right. And again, the striker market is, as I've said, guys, the striker market is not the best. We do need to be honest with ourselves here. It's not the best. You know, it's not the best. Don't forget Angelo on the right. Again, Angelo, interested to see what he's going to do. There's so much competition. There's probably too much competition, you could argue. Yeah, it's kind of crazy that. No, we don't. I don't think, I've been saying this for a long time now. I don't think we do need another centre-back, Silva leaves, fine. But that leaves us with Fofana, Chalobah, Colwell, Badiashile, and Disasi. That's 5 centre-backs. Why do we need another one? We don't. We don't need another one. We really don't. For me, I agree. We are going to obviously bring another centre-back in, but I don't see why we need to do that. It doesn't make an awful lot of sense to me. I don't get it. Yeah, again, there's loads of them. The most famous examples, Freddie Adu, the American kid. But yeah, there's so many of them. Again, there as well. Yeah. Pires and Esteval should be loaned to one of the new promoted teams of the Premier League. They'll get used to playing in the Premier League and then be good for Chelsea. Look, as long as there's a plan for them, then that's the most important thing. Guys, so much stuff is coming in. Again, I can't read all of this out, guys. But yeah, if you want to guarantee your comment gets read out, then please do use the super chat function. Any donation, no matter how big or small, is, of course, massively appreciated, people. No, absolutely not. He's done. What's the obsession with going after so many right-sided wingers? I don't know. I don't know is the answer to that question. I'm really not sure. By the way, guys, 100 people in the building. Big up to every single one of you that is locked in. Make sure you're smashing that like button and make sure you are subscribing to the channel if you're new around here as well. We are on the way to 10,000 subscribers, guys, which would be a big, big milestone. Make sure you are hitting that thumbs up button. Make sure you are subscribing as well. We're on 9,126. Let's get this to 9,130, guys. Do your thing, people. Do your thing. And let's get these likes up. 105 in the building, only 44 likes. Come on, guys. Do your thing. Right. Let's get a few more of these. Honestly, I prefer the young player route. They develop before our eyes and you can sell before 25, 26, not buying a 26-year-old letdown. Look, I think there's a double-sided strategy here. The best ones will make it, and the others who will probably still go on and have very good careers will be sold on for a profit. So yeah, let's wait and see what happens. But yeah, Chelsea's new bid for Esteval Willian looks like it is going to be going in soon, and hopefully a deal will be wrapped up pretty quickly for the talented 17-year-old Brazilian. Just whilst we're on transfer news, one other matter to take into consideration is, again, I don't think anything's going to come of this, but we might as well cover it. Crescencio Somerville has been watched by Chelsea and other clubs in recent months, and he would command a fee in excess of £30 million. So this is a 22-year-old. I think he's Dutch. Plays for Leeds, had a very good season. I think he scored 20 goals in 47 appearances this season. He was named Championship Player of the Year. He's 22 years of age. He would fit the age range and the age bracket. He'd be a decent price. But again, there's no room at the inn. The only way I could possibly see this happening is if Raheem Sterling moved on and maybe Michael Olise wasn't keen on a move or he was deemed too much. And this would be a more attainable alternative. But look, Somerville, talented player. But again, apparently he's been watched by Aston Villa, Newcastle and Liverpool as well in recent months. Leeds are believed to need to raise around £100 million in player sales if they don't get promoted to the Premier League. Even if they do get promoted, there's still going to be some strain on complying with EFL, FFP rules. So yeah, let's wait and see what happens. But I think this is one more just Chelsea kind of just having a look at some players rather than there being kind of genuine, concrete interest in the winger. Again, he's a wide player that can play either off the left or the right. And do you know what? The Championship, by the way, is an underrated market. Look at some of the players that have come from the Championship. Andy Robertson, Jared Bowen, as another example. Just two that I can think of off the top of my head. The Championship is a good market to buy in. He's a good player, but again, I don't see where he fits in unless a wide player leaves, and I can't see what wide players are going to be leaving. I can't see it, people. I cannot see it. But yeah, look, that's just another transfer link. That Chelsea have been monitoring Somerville, but look, he'd be cheap at around £35 million. I reckon maybe pushing 40 tops. But yeah, I don't know, guys. It's going to be interesting to see what we do. I wouldn't say he doesn't have the experience. Premier League experience, no. But, the Championship is a very difficult division. Anyone that does well in the Championship has got a bit about them. And I'm pretty sure could develop and cut the mustard in the Premier League. But, of course, trying to cut the mustard at Chelsea is very, very different than doing it at Leeds. So, yeah, let's wait and see. But yeah, I can't see anything happening there. I don't know what's going on there either. Little power cut settings potentially. Let's wait and see what happens. Let's wait and see what happens, guys. Let's move away from Somerville. Let's start chatting about the gaffer. Let's talk about the gaffer, my fucking gaffer. Let's bring this up. So, of course, we know full well about this. What do you call it? We know full well about this end of season review. We know that. And of course, it's going to be decided unanimously. There's got to be a unanimous decision amongst the board members. But reports have been coming out today saying that Mauricio Pochettino has got, where is it? Not that one. Yeah, this one. So Mauricio Pochettino is believed to have the key backing of Chelsea board members ahead of the end of season review. There is a growing feeling that Mauricio Pochettino will stay at Chelsea. Sources believe the club were leaning towards sacking the 52-year-old a few weeks ago, only for positive results to alter the picture. Now, that doesn't potentially surprise me. I think the end of season turnaround has been massive for Pochettino. I think it's also not just the last 5 games, but also, the form since the turn of the year. That's definitely counted for him. Of course, again, there are, Jacob Steinberg also reporting that, the likelihood is they're moving towards Pochettino remaining in charge, which would be absolutely the right thing to do. There are believed to be some board members that are undecided. But ultimately, it has to be a unanimous decision amongst everyone. And then obviously Bowley and Egbali and whatnot and Feliciano Lopez will have to sign off on any final decision. So there's quite a lot of decision makers to go through. But it is looking exciting nonetheless. It's looking like Pochettino will be sticking around next season. He's got backing of key board members, which is really important. It's vital to remember that. That is going to be key. There's a growing feeling that he's going to stay. And I think it's the right thing to do when you look at how Chelsea have improved. And Ben Jacobs has detailed a number of factors that are going to be working in Pochettino's favour in terms of towards him staying when they do have that end of season review. So where is it? These have been detailed by Ben Jacobs. So factors in Pochettino's favour ahead of the end of season review. Firm support from the dressing room. That's massive. Multiple board members behind him. Massive. Positive feedback from the players is huge. Form since Boxing Day is huge. And then 2 trips to Wembley, which again is a tick in the box. And encouraging data such as big chances created. Chelsea have created the most big chances. Chelsea have created more big chances than Arsenal, Spurs, Villa, and Man United. So these are all things that are going in his favour. And again, I agree. absolutely agree. The end of season review was always planned. It was made clear when he arrived at the club last summer that they would conduct an end of season review to discuss how things were going, and that's the same. Because there's been, rumours around his future, and we don't have the best start to the season and whatnot. This end of season review is being built up into something that's a lot bigger than it really is. It's almost being billed as Pochettino having to prove to the club that he deserves to stay for another season. This is more, a collaborative chat, as it were, a bit of a collaborative chat. About how he's finding things, what the thoughts are, and how they see the direction of the team going. And Pochettino's always said, judge me when I've got a fully fit team. Now we have got a mostly fully fit team, and we're starting to play some really good football. He's made some tactical changes. Players are playing really well, and we've got game-changing options from the bench. It's funny what happens when you've actually got the majority of your players available, how much better this squad is. And it's a big step in the right direction. European football as well. That Brighton did get the ball before fouling Cucurella. It was correct call. Does Poch get sacked if United win the FA Cup and sixth becomes Conference League? No, I don't think so. I would say absolutely not. Pochettino got a year plus option, so he won't be leaving. Plus, why would they sack him? No coincidence we have nearly fully... I've just said that. Guys, come on. 114 in the building. I'm hearing we're only on 57 likes. This needs to move up, people. Needs to move up towards 100. So keep doing your thing, guys. Keep doing your thing. Smash that thumbs up button. It massively helps in the YouTube algorithm. So yeah, keep doing your thing, people. Keep doing your thing. It's the same for any team. If you took... 4 key first teamers out of the team. If you took, let's say if you took Haaland, John Stones or Ruben Diaz or whatever, Kyle Walker and I don't know, and Rodri out the team, that would be a massive problem. It would be a massive problem for any team. What striker do you think is most likely to come to Chelsea over the summer? I'd say most likely, I think Benjamin Sesko, if I'm being brutally honest. I agree with that. With what Goldbridge said, Poch is the guy before the guy for us. Yeah, and I've said that before. I think Poch is the guy to lay the foundations and set this team on its way for someone else to then come in and really and start to deliver the trophies. But at the same time, I do feel that he can win here. We were in touching distance of already winning a trophy. We should be preparing. We should be preparing for another cup final. Unfortunately, we aren't, but we should be. Things have been positive. Things have been positive. Cucurella, elite mentality to perform well when 30k Brighton. Yeah, very, very good Cucurella again last night. And he's really transformed. And what a player, what a player he's looking like, by the way, as well, by the way. What a player. But yeah, look, Pochettino's got a lot going in his favour here. And for me, there's no doubt in my mind, he absolutely has to stay. He has to stay. The players love him. The form's improved. We're playing good football. There's a complete lack of credible alternatives out there. So, all those things factored in, it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense whatsoever to be making a change, people. Makes no sense at all. Yet, I have faith in the club and the higher ups that they are going to come to the right decision, and they're not going to make another mistake and change the manager. We need continuity. This young group of players like Pochettino. They like working under him. They're fond of him. They're playing for him. That's another massively important thing. These players are 100% playing for the manager. You can see that they want to play for the manager. You can see that they want to do well for the manager. And yeah, things are moving forward. It's funny how since we got smashed by Arsenal, we made a tactical change, and now we're playing some of our best football. I'm not saying we're going to go on and win the league or anything like that, but I think I've mentioned in the past that That Arsenal game almost feels like an Antonio Conte moment where we got smashed. We lost there. Conte had a very difficult start. He switched the tactics and the system up a little bit. And then we went on a ridiculous run and we won the league. I'm not saying we're going to do the same thing, but there's no coincidence for me that, off the back of a heavy defeat, we slightly switched things up. Players are coming back now and we're playing some really good football and we're suddenly going on a bit of a run. I don't think there's any coincidence, in that whatsoever, people. I don't think there's any coincidence at all. There was a time where Arteta seemed absolutely clear as manager. As long as we see improvement, we should back and move with Poch. Absolutely agree. Absolutely agree. Manager's future shouldn't be decided by league position. It should be decided by relationship with the players. Is he improving? Have the team got better? Are players getting better? And those are all big ticks. And the team's improving. You only have to look at our form since Boxing Day. The team is improving. There's no denying it. Yes, big up, Brian. Thanks for the super chat, brother. Greatly appreciated. Why Sesko? I'm not saying I'd want Sesko, but I just look at that right now, and in my opinion, it just looks like, for me, the most likely choice, given his price, given that Osimhen could be difficult. Maybe Gyökeres is going to stay at Sporting for another season. That would be my view on it. Again, I could be wrong. Again, Sesko's a very talented boy, but I'm not sure if it's necessarily right for what we're looking to do. But again, guys, I could be wrong on that. But that would be my bet. Would be Sesko right now as things stand. Again, Guirassy, but again, Guirassy is someone that's been around for a while, and this is the first season where he's actually been banging goals in like there's no tomorrow. Again, Dovbyk believes, I think, to have around 43 million euros release clause, about 35 million pounds. Maybe they don't sign João Pedro, but the profile of the player is more important. I'm literally seeing Poch build a strong attack at the same profile. Yep, the attack's looking good. Stupid drop points have cost top four: Sheffield, Burnley, Villa, 6 points there. I wouldn't say Villa away was stupid drop points because we came back into that game and we should have maybe had 2 more points. We got robbed at the end. But yeah, look, it's ifs and buts at the moment. Big up, I'm happy with the win, but Lamptey should have been sent off. Yep, absolutely, he should have been. Yeah, no, Apenda's not going to go anywhere. Leipzig aren't going to lose both their forwards in Sesko and Openda in the same summer. That just isn't going to happen. It's just not going to happen, people. But Openda again is another guy that's very good. He done very well in France last season. I think he played in the Dutch league as well for Vitesse. I think he did very well there in his younger career. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting, people. It is gonna be interesting. Again, people that talk about Boniface, he's done 1 season in Leverkusen. He's done reasonably well. He was injured for a large parts of it as well. Again, young, needs a bit more time, in my opinion. Go and play Champions League at Leverkusen. See what you can do next season. No, we didn't deserve because we didn't play well enough. That's the reality. The mentality wasn't right in those games from us. But I think if we played those games now, we'd win them. But it is what it is. But yeah, look, it appears, guys, this end of season review, as I've said, seems to be being a little bit blown out of proportion. If we're being brutally honest here, this was always the plan, but because there's been question marks around Poch's future, it's now suddenly being built up as some big showdown to decide his future. When I don't think it is, but he's absolutely got a number of factors in his favour. He deserves to stay. He should stay. He's showing signs of improvement, huge signs of improvement. And what's not to like, people? What's not to like with what we're doing at the moment? Yes, it's not been the best. It wasn't the best start. We took 3 wins in our first 10 league games or whatever, and there's been some. I've been on the receiving end of some thrashings from teams, but ultimately, this was always going to be a bumpy road. There were always going to be some teething issues, and even next season there will be some teething issues. We'll be better next season, but we'll still have some shit performances and we'll still lose some games. But as long as the team are moving in the right direction, that's the most important thing. And this team are 100% moving in the right direction. And this group is so together. They're so together, and Pochettino deserves huge credit for the togetherness and the harmony that he's formed amongst the group. He deserves huge credit for that, because we haven't seen a Chelsea squad this harmonised, a group this together for a long time, and particularly with a group of youngsters who barely knew each other before this season. It's even more credit to the manager that he's managed even more credit to the manager for managing to do that with such a great group with such a young, inexperienced group of players. We surely need a new striker. We're going to get a new striker. Jackson's been good this season. We do need another forward. That will happen in the summer. I just don't know who that guy's going to be. Yep, it absolutely is. I agree. Champions League is a must next season. Agreed. Conor Gallagher also deserves credit. Yeah, he absolutely does. Next season, if we can win close to 23 games, we're good. If Conor Gallagher doesn't get sold, what do we do? Because he's terrible as a well, he'll be a rotation option in the pivot. That's what he'll be. Since Gallagher's dropped out of the 10 and played in the pivot, it's been a lot better. Gallagher is not a number 10. I mean, I've said that many times. That we're going to be a serious team. We can't play Conor Gallagher as a 10. His skill set is not a number 10 skill set. That's the reality of the situation. Absolutely, got to keep Trev. Huge factor for success is team spirit. You can't force it. It has to develop over time, and it seems the players get it. Yeah, exactly. The players do get it. These youngsters do get it. We need a forward. We need a striker. And yeah, we don't need much, but we need a few key positions, and we need players to be able to stay fit over the course of a season. But yeah, I agree. There's absolutely, guys. We have got we have got a lot to look forward to. A lot to look forward to. Well, again, I'd probably play him as a 10, but you saw last night he was very good off the left when he came on for Mudryk, who got absolutely assaulted by Tarek Lamptey. He could play 10, he could play left wing, he could play as a 9. For me, I see Nkunku best as a 10. You play Palmer on the right, and then on the left, Mudryk plays, or you bring someone in. I don't know, but that's what I'd go with. It's great to watch. Dibu Martinez. Do you mean Emi Martinez, the Villa goalkeeper? I've not heard of a Dibu Martinez. Yeah. Well, yeah. Basically, yeah. I would agree. I would absolutely agree on that. But full well, we're not just going to sign one player this summer. There's going to be. Oh, it's called Dibu, is he? Is that his nickname? I never knew that. Obviously, not paid an awful lot of attention to Emi Martinez and the nicknames that he goes by. But yeah, Pochettino, end of season review coming up. A lot of things in his favour, and he should absolutely be staying. He should 100% be staying. And yeah, there's not much noise on the Poch outers now. They're now changing their narrative to, oh yeah, but it's taken until game week 33 to see these changes, to do what we should have been doing ages ago. Well, hang on a second. First thing is, the form's been vastly improved since the turn of the year. Second thing is, a football team doesn't get made instantly with a load of new players in the space of a few months as well. These guys are moving. These guys are just constantly moving the goalposts to suit their narratives. At the end of the day, you can see what Pochettino's doing. I've got belief in it. I've got trust in it, and he should absolutely be here next season. When you look at how much we've improved as a team, you only have to look here. Where is it? So first 19 games of the season, is here. So look, first 19 matches, we were 10th with 25 points with a +2 goal difference. And the preceding in the second half of the season, we're fourth in the table. Goal difference has increased by 9, and we've got 10 more points. If you're like, how can anyone look at that there and say that we haven't improved? We have absolutely improved. And I've got people telling me, oh, the improvement's has only been the last 5 games. No, it hasn't. Bollocks has it. The evidence is right there in front of you. You know, yes, the last 5 games we played some of our best football of the season. We've looked much better, but the form has been on an upward trajectory since the start of the year. So don't no one start coming to me and saying, oh, you know, this team hasn't improved, because it bloody well has. You know, we've improved massively since then. We've improved massively since that start of the season. You know, we really have. You know, we really have. So yeah, it's credit to the players, it's credit to Poch, the coaching staff, credit to everyone at the club. You know, it really is. And you know what? It's almost like sometimes you've got to have a little bit of patience with things. Who would have thought that? Who would have thought that maybe if you're patient and you just give things a bit of time, that they'll suddenly come good? Who would have thought that? Incredible, eh? Incredible. If you're patient, things start to come together. How funny? How funny, eh? I want to give huge credit to Poch as he taught the team to make comebacks when we seemed to lose a game. That was a big issue under Tuchel, as we could see the goal first, the game was over. That was an issue under Tuchel, but I think that was also a what do you call it? That was also a fact that a lot of these players didn't want to be here. The mentality was in the gutter. So yeah, but you can tell now this team's got a never say die attitude. They don't give up. They always go to the end. And even if we're down in games, apart from games that we've been smashed in, you know, you've always felt like this team will always is never out of a game. You always fancy them to come back and get themselves back into it. And it's that never say die attitude that, you know, is really going to stand us in good stead. Really, really going to stand us in good stead, people. I don't know. I wasn't suggesting it. He said that. I've got no idea if he said that or not. I know he's not keen on the manager, and that's obviously fine. Lewis is my guy. But yeah, look, it is what it is. People have different opinions, but you know, there's no denying that the team has not improved, and things are going in the right direction under Pochettino. Again, there's a chance we could get fifth if Sheffield United, you know, can give their home fans something to cheer about going into the summer, and they sign off a dreadful season with a win in front of their home fans against Spurs, and we beat Bournemouth, then yeah, we could finish fifth, which would be absolutely mad. No, I appreciate it, brother. I always try and say how it is and see the positive in things. I will call things out that I think need to be criticised, but at the end of the day, it's tiresome just being negative about the club the whole time when actually there's a lot of reasons to be positive, and there absolutely are. Again, I've said this as well. I truly believe that if we'd had Reece James, even just Reece James and Nkunku fit for the majority of the season, we would have finished top 4. That's my opinion. You know, we're not a million miles away. We're really not. I think probably I would suggest that injuries have played a large part in us missing out on the top 4. I don't want to say they're the only reason we've missed out, but I think they've played a huge part in us missing out. By the way, guys, we're 10 likes away from 100. Ramp it up, people. Ramp it up. 10 likes away from 100. Keep smashing that like button. Keep subscribing to the channel as well, guys. Get me. Every subscriber is a step closer to 10K. So let's make sure we are getting the job done, guys. Let's make sure we're getting the job done. So yeah, ramp up those subs, ramp up those likes. Chelsea need to terminate some player contracts, just like what Arteta did when he got rid of Deadwoods. Well, they're going to be terminating any contracts, but yeah. I don't know. I really can't see Sheffield United getting anything against Spurs. I can't either. Yep, we just need to win and then hope City win the FA Cup. There's always that possibility. There's always that thing in the back of your mind that you think, United will somehow catch life and they'll fluke their way to the FA Cup and we'll end up playing in a Conference League. Let's wait and see what happens on that. But yeah, guys, let's talk about what I wanted to talk about was Reece James. Obviously, sent off last night. I've seen him come in for a lot of criticism. I'm in a group chat with some of the lads, it's been a heated debate about Reece James and the captaincy and whatnot. Reece James, unfortunately, was sent off last night. Violent conduct. He'll now serve a 4-match ban, which is not good. He'll be missing. He'll miss the last game of the season against Bournemouth, and then the first 3 games of next season. The reason why it's an additional game ban is because it's his second red card of the season. 3 games for violent conduct and an extra one for the for it being a second red card. And look, the discipline is a concern because it's 2 red cards in 5 starts. He got sent off at Newcastle for poor discipline, 2 bookings. Sent off yesterday, poor discipline. And then the game when we lost at home to Aston Villa, in which he wasn't even playing, he served a 1-match ban for abusive language towards match officials when he wasn't even involved. So, look, it's stupid from Reece. He's made a mistake. He'll know that. He'll be massively frustrated with himself. Look, he's not going to be the first player that lashes out and gets sent off. He's not going to be the first captain that gets sent off. He's had a really difficult time this season. These injuries must have been crushing on him mentally, and sometimes the frustration boils over. The last thing he needs is fans getting on his back because he's got sent off. It didn't cost us the game. Yeah, it was an unfortunate moment, and he'll absolutely regret that. Of course he will. But at the same time, he's young, he's 24. He'll learn from this. And I don't want to say it's not a big deal because it is slightly concerning about it's now 3 times it's happened. But, he'll grow and he'll learn from this. And yes, Lauren James has done a similar thing in the World Cup. Look, it is what it is. Players will have moments where in the heat of the moment, they have a bit of a head loss. They make a decision in a split second, and it goes wrong. And people saying, "Oh, he's not a captain" and whatnot. Ultimately, the captaincy at Chelsea has perhaps lost quite a lot of its meaning at the moment because it's been handed around so much this season. It's been. That's the reality. It's a red card at the end of the day. My biggest issue is the complete lack again of consistency with VAR. Lamptey assaults Mudryk and he has to go off with a fucking concussion substitute. Clear as day, red card. All right, maybe the ref misses it. Clear as day, red card. VAR look at it. They don't even send him to the screen and they deem it fine. And then with this, they send him to the screen and it's a red card. What is the threshold for being sent to the screen? It is unforgivable to be... I can forgive referees for making mistakes because you've got a split second and it goes very quickly. You might not get a view of it. The whole point of the VAR is to be there to help the referee when he's made a clear and obvious mistake. Why, when he's clearly made a mistake with that Mudryk one, has he not been advised to go to the screen or VAR not intervened? But then why have they intervened with this one? I just don't get it. It's not fit for purpose. And once again, I just thought the officiating in general last night was absolutely horrendous, guys. I thought it was dreadful. Absolutely dreadful. And it's a shame, because we've got one of the best footballing products in the world with the poorest referees imaginable. I honestly reckon there's better referees at Sunday League level than the Premier League. The Premier League referees are an absolute joke. How these guys get away with it week in, week out, making mistake after mistake after mistake. No accountability, no punishment for being shit at your job. Is staggering, absolutely staggering. Again, the penalty in the end, I have seen that back. That was right to be overturned, but we should have been given a corner. We should have been given a corner when that was overturned. So yeah, there's a number of things that VAR are getting so wrong, and yeah, it's a major concern. It is a major concern because it's ruining the game in terms of what it's doing. It's the whole point there is it's to get decisions right. We're now just getting decisions wrong, left, right, and centre every single week without fail. Not only have we got referees sat in a room somewhere looking at incidents from multiple angles as many times as they want, and then we're still fucking getting it wrong. It's unforgivable. It is absolutely unforgivable. Where are the standards? Where are the standards in this officiating? Because there don't appear to be any standards whatsoever. There don't appear to be any standards whatsoever at all. I think the semi-automated offside will make a big difference. That'll literally tell you instantly. It should really... VAR as the problem with VAR is it's moved away from its original purpose of clear and obvious errors. It's now just re-refereeing the game. The referee's not refereeing the game. VAR is refereeing the game. You've got people refereeing the game sat in a room in Stockley Park, hundreds of miles away from the action, and those guys, they're refereeing the game. Referees aren't refereeing the game. It's an absolute shambles. It will be better with semi-automated offside next season for sure. Let's be sincere. James has this habit. I prefer Gusto should sell. Absolutely not. Ref must be a seagull's instinct. Older VAR said, how can it be? How can an assault be inconclusive? Inconclusive, and he has to go off as a concussion sub because he's been bashed in the face. Am I an idiot or something? Also, what's not clear is what is the threshold for being sent to the screen? Because it seems that some decisions you get sent to the screen, others you don't. 1 week, it is 1 week for something you'll get sent to the screen. The next week, the same thing will happen. You won't be sent to the screen. What is the threshold for being sent to the screen? What kind of decisions are going to involve you being sent to the screen? Because I just don't understand it. Obviously, the Premier League clubs are going to vote to scrap it or not. That won't go through. They won't get a majority, 14 out of the 20 clubs. But it's clear that a lot of the clubs are very, very frustrated with what's going on right now. And I'm not saying it's an easy job, but Howard Webb, you need to fix up, geezer. You need to fix up because what's going on now is a major problem. Major problem. But yeah, look, with Reece, I think people just need to calm down a little bit. He's made a mistake. He's lashed out. Frustration and whatnot. Don't need to chastise him for it. It's not cost us the game. Yes, the discipline needs to be worked on. And that's something that I'm sure the manager will be drilling into. And I'm sure that's something that he and the people around him know, that he can't allow his emotions to get the better of him in those kind of situations, because in key moments that could end up costing you. Luckily, it didn't end up costing us the points. Yep, again, that's a massive problem as well. No, but you say that, but then the whole reason it come in the first place was, of course, because too many decisions were being gotten wrong, and there was too much riding on those decisions. If they get rid of it again, people say, "Oh, they'll be happy to be on the receiving end of the wrong calls." They won't be when it costs them a game, when it costs them the top four, when it sends them down, or when it costs them a cup or whatever. People won't be saying that then, and that's where it makes a big difference. That's where it makes a huge difference. Roy James knows all the Premier League referees and gets them to turn again. I don't know quite that's the case. Brighton should have been down with 9 men. Lamptey won. No, the goalkeeper, that wasn't a red card because Jackson was going away from goal. The Lamptey one, 100%. Absolutely. That should have been a red. Honestly, can't wait for next season because we have good players and next season will be big for us. We have players that are good. Yeah, absolutely. I fully agree. Fully agree. But look, in regards to Reece, he's had 3 moments of poor discipline this season. Two on the pitch, 1 off. It's something that he needs to work on. He's been out, for a long time with injury. That's been tough mentally. Of course it has. There's some dark days there. He's coming back. He loves this football club. He wants to play for this football club. He wants to be here. And look, he's made a few poor decisions on the pitch. Won't be the first player to do that. Absolutely won't be the last. But he needs to show that he's learned from it because particularly as a captain, you're setting the example and you can't do that. You can't do that. That's the reality of the situation, guys. You cannot do that, particularly when you're captain. You need to be setting an example, and that's not a good example to be setting. And he'll be more frustrated than anyone that's happened. He absolutely will be. But look, for me, Reece, I haven't got any problems. We don't need validation from an apology or anything like that. It is what it is. Chelsea might decide to appeal. I don't know. And look, at the end of the day, players make mistakes. We're all human beings. As long as he learns from this and it doesn't happen on a regular basis, then, it is what it is. It's part of the game. It's just what happens sometimes, It can't always be helped. But yeah, look, no doubt in Reece, no doubt that he should be the captain. And again, maybe he wasn't ready to be captain, but there wasn't really any obvious choices. Yeah, he could have given it to Silva for a year. But do you know what I mean? There weren't really too many obvious choices. Again, Gallagher's been rash and been sent off this season, has been sent off, in his time at Chelsea. So, yeah, it is what it is. It is what it is, guys. There's no denying that. There's no denying that one. I don't know. Are we going to appeal? I have no idea. I'm sure they'll look over it and decide whether it's worth appealing or not. Even if they appeal it and they get reduced just to a 3-game ban, that would be a start. But yeah, look, no doubts over Reece. He made a stupid mistake. Needs to stamp it out of his game. But that's it, really. That for me, that's the end of the matter, and that's kind of that. Very, very simple. But yeah, let's move away from Reece. Let's talk about, Christopher Nkunku. He's back. He's back and he scored and he looks really good. Playing off the left, he looked very, very good. He looked very, very good. Playing off that left-hand side, he took his goal well. He's looked silky on the ball. He said after the game, he feels happy and he's and here we go. Let's bring this up. He feels happy. He feels better now after the injury issues. And a fully fit Christopher Nkunku is going to be a massive, massive plus to Chelsea. There he is celebrating with the boys. And the one we've all been waiting for. The one that we've all been waiting for. The balloon. This is his 3rd goal of the season. He's actually got more goals than starts. Funny enough, he's got 3 Premier League goals from two Premier League starts. Look, he's doing the business. He looks good. And it's going to be massive. The thought of him and Palmer linking up on a regular basis next season is going to be really, really big. Palmer himself said, we're going to see, everyone will see how good Nkunku really is next season. Because there's absolutely no doubt in my mind that there's a top player in there. There's a top player in there, and yeah, it's exciting. It is really exciting. Yeah. I mean, I don't know who started that, but it was funny. I mean, I do feel sorry for the lad, to be fair. I don't really know what started that whole thing in the first place. But yeah, he did take pelters, which, yeah, I mean, it was funny at the time, but I'm not sure if it's funny. It was not necessarily funny for him, but yeah, it was all in good jest. Well, maybe not from some people, but certainly, on my part, definitely. We absolutely have missed him, massively missed him. And, he's got that quality, whether he can play off the left, whether he plays centrally, whether he plays as a striker. I think off the left or centrally is going to be best for him. That's where I would envision him. But yeah, let's wait and see. But he did make a big difference, and he's arrived. He's arrived now. He's here. We're ready. We're cooking. If Nkunku was fit all season, Poch wouldn't have abandoned his preseason tactics. And Nkunku and Palmer behind a serious striker could seriously cook. Yep, absolutely. And this is the key thing now. The players are coming back. We've got to make sure that we can keep them fit for as long as possible. That is going to be the key here, guys. That is going to be the major key. Starting Nkunku or Sterling for the last game. Yeah, I think Nkunku will start on the left for the last game. That makes the most sense to me. Yeah, you could definitely say that. I don't know how successful an appeal for a red card would be. If I'm being totally honest, I'm really not that convinced it would be that successful. But look, you never know. I'm sure they'll weigh it up and decide whether they think it's a good idea or not. But Christopher Nkunku being back is huge, absolutely huge, guys. I don't think it can be underestimated how big it is. He's been back for the last 3 games now, coming off the bench. This was his best performance since returning to the squad following injury, and yeah, it's been good. It's been good. He makes a massive difference to the team. Massive difference to the team. He's so good. I'm a huge fan of him. A huge fan of him. And I think the fans are gonna really take to him. Is he going to go to the Euros or not? I don't know. No, I wouldn't take Varane purely based on the fact that it's because he's too injury prone at this stage of his career. In my opinion, for me, he's too injury prone at this point in time. That's the reality. That's the reality. He's too injury prone. So no, I wouldn't. If his injury record wasn't that bad, then yeah, I absolutely would have done. Absolutely would have done. It almost feels that way. It almost felt that way. Obviously, there's been a lot of business between the two clubs in the recent past. But yeah, obviously, it feels like it's a huge game. It's a huge game for Brighton, this one. But yeah, I mean, I look at it and it's it is what it is, guys. Nkunku back in the mix is huge, and Palmer himself saying that link up is going to be very, very interesting with Palmer and Nkunku, because those for me are in terms of an attacking wise, we've got talented players. These are the two standouts, Palmer and Nkunku. And according to Nazar, Palmer's excited about what might be possible next season when he links up with Nkunku on a more regular basis. I think everyone is excited about that. Everyone knows his quality, even from Leipzig before he came here. He's been unlucky with injuries, but if he can get firing and get fit, you saw what he can do out there. I think next season, everyone will see how good he actually is. I mean, that link up is going to be quite something. For me personally, I'm very excited. I can't wait for that link up. I think that link up, we're going to be absolutely cooking with those two. Palmer off the right, Nkunku centrally, Jackson or whoever it is as a 9, and then Mudryk, whoever, off the left. It's exciting times. And do you know what? It's scary, Palmer and Nkunku linking up. but it's not scary for us. Not scary for us. As soon as he came on, he was making a difference to the squad, better passing than Mudryk and better shooting. Love that celebration. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he was doing very, very well. Very, very well. And look, this is an exciting link up. And this is why I say, there's still there's a lot to look forward to at Chelsea. Palmer and Nkunku linking up on the regular next season. That's gonna be a huge plus, guys. A huge, huge plus. No denying that. No denying it. No denying it whatsoever. And then you've got, the likes of other players getting better as well. There's lots to look forward to, people. There's so much to look forward to. Do I rate Salah? Yeah, look, Salah's been a phenomenal player. Phenomenal player. Do you think we'll get lots of balloon celebrations next season at Stamford Bridge? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, what Cole Palmer's done this season, the header yesterday is just sensational, by the way. Great ball in from Cucurella, who, again, Cucurella deserves huge praise. He's a real popular member of the dressing room. Fans really on board with him now. And he's someone that, this switch in tactics has paid off massively for. Absolutely massively. It's made a huge, huge difference. And he looks transformed as a player. Palmer equaled Frank Lampard's record. Yeah, he did. Frank Lampard's record I think Palmer's record of Palmer's matched Lampard's best ever GNA season at Chelsea in his first year. This is also Palmer's first year of playing regularly in the Premier League. I don't think people are realising how good a season Cole Palmer's having, because it's absolutely phenomenal. And, he should be being named Young Player of the Year. Simple as that. Could even be in with a shout with Player of the Year, but Young Player of the Year, absolutely. I don't know if you guys have seen it, but as he was walking, into the stadium or walking inside the stadium when they arrived for the game, they saw his lock screen on his phone. His lock screen on his phone is that Young Player of the Year trophy. The guy's mentality is elite, and he's obviously manifesting that, and hopefully it comes off for him, because he 100% deserves that. Absolutely deserves that. No two ways about it. And the combination of Palmer and Nkunku is going to be, it could be very special. Let's not get too carried away, but it's absolutely got all the ingredients to be very, very special. So it's great to see Palmer still doing the business, and Nkunku back in the mix now is massive for Chelsea as well, because his quality is just, you can just tell he oozes quality. Yeah, no, we do. We absolutely do, because it will take the burden off Jackson. It'll be for someone for Jackson to learn off, which will be massive for him as well. So yeah. Just before we round it out, guys, I wanted to give a couple of other mentions. I wanted to touch on two certified ballers in Moises Caicedo. I want to start with Trevor Chalobah, by the way, because Chalobah, I don't think, is getting the credit that he deserves either. He's been so good. So good. It's incredible what he's doing. Whatever we do in the summer, Trevor Chalobah should not be sold. Chalobah and Cucurella, they've been tremendous in this recent spell of form. They're well liked in the dressing room, and they've been key to the strong finish. Absolutely key. Absolutely key. Absolutely. Chalobah has to be staying next season. It's as simple as that. We haven't lost a Premier League game that he started this season. I don't understand why people are only just now starting to give Chalobah credit. He's been superb. He's been superb all season, and he just gets it. He just gets it. That's the reality. And ultimately, we don't need another centre back. This guy gets it. Absolutely, pure and simple. He gets it. knows exactly what it means. There he is. And look, there's no reason to sell him. This guy is worth so much more than what's being reported. So much more. £25 million. Are you joking? He's contracted until what, 2028? He's 24 years old. He's versatile, can play in multiple positions. And I'm talking about 25 million. Are you joking? That's a £50 million player there. I don't know. I don't know what's going on here. I don't know what's going on here, but yeah, it's a huge plus, a huge plus. Chalobah and his form, and you know what? He deserves to stay at the club. He's been absolutely superb all season since he's been back. What's a player? He's calm. He's never he doesn't let the team down. You could potentially say that. I'd sell Disasi to keep Chalobah. I wouldn't sell Fofana to keep Chalobah, but I'd absolutely sell Disasi to keep Chalobah. No denying it. I think it's like Disasi or Fofana move on to keep Trev. No, I don't see anyone. I don't see Disasi or Fofana moving on. No chance in my view on that. But Chalobah shouldn't be going anywhere. Brilliant footballer, hasn't let the team down, has been superb this season. And we're yet to lose a game in which he started. Again, we've got Colwell still. We don't need to sign a centre-back. We don't. So, I don't know why the club are insistent on bringing a centre-back in. Maybe someone else is leaving that we don't know about. Or maybe Poch is planning to switch to a back three and he wants more options. Who knows? But yeah, it's kind of it's a real strange one. Now, yes, you perhaps want experience in the back line, but Chalobah's got experience. Disasi's got experience. For me, we don't need to be signing another centre half. We simply don't. That's the reality of the situation, guys. We simply do not need to be signing another centre half. Chalobah should be staying. Here to stay. That's it. Whatever we do this summer, even if we did nothing this summer, keeping Chalobah and Gallagher automatically puts us in a better position next season. Simple as that. Simple as that. I just wanted to bring a quick thing here to sort of round out on. Chelsea have scored 100 goals this season, moved from 12th to 6th. Last season, we were 37 points behind 4th. This season, we're 8 points behind 4th. The last time a Chelsea player scored 20 league goals was Diego Costa. Palmer is 22. Spurs were tipped to win the league at one point. Chelsea are 3 points behind them. You can give credit to a manager while not rating him. Something some Chelsea fans don't have. Don't let agenda and hatred cloud your judgment. There has been improvement at the club this season. That is absolutely spot on. Couldn't have summed it up any better. Even if you don't like the manager, you can still give him credit for what he's done. But some Chelsea fans seemingly are incapable of doing that. It's mad. It's absolutely mad. We're miles better than last season. We're miles better. I don't understand why people are acting like we haven't improved. It's quite remarkable, really. Quite remarkable that people aren't acting like we've improved. It doesn't make sense. Really doesn't make sense. But I think that sums up Chelsea quite nicely. Poch is slowly turning the bridge back into a fortress again. Exactly. Another thing. Home form has massively improved under him as well. That was ridiculous when Spurs were unbeaten in their first 10 games and people were talking about them for the league. That was a shambles, wasn't it? That was an absolute shambles, guys. I really don't know what was going on there, but yeah, that was a madness. The decision of the owners back on Chalobah will reflect who they actually are. Let's wait and see what happens with these decisions. But yeah, look, guys, I guess ultimately, with one game to go, You know, we need a point to guarantee a top 6 finish. That will get us Europa League football, providing Man United don't win the FA Cup. It's been another one of them up and down seasons, but at the end of the day, there are absolutely positive signs. The team's getting better. They're maturing, they're developing. With the right additions in the summer and being able to keep players fit for the majority of the season, next season, then absolutely there's a lot to be positive for. And we could definitely be a force to be reckoned with next season. You know, I absolutely agree with that. You know, if we can end 5 or 6 wins, I'll be all for keep watch. Hopefully we start next season how we end this one. Absolutely agree on that front. Absolutely 100% agree. There's no denying that. I mean, yeah, Caicedo, superb again last night. Dropped a masterclass. You know, blonde Caicedo dropped a masterclass. What a player. You know, despite being booed the whole game, he put in another superb performance. And you know what? Haters will hate, but real ones know. You know, haters will hate, but real ones know. Caicedo's been good for us. Caicedo's been very good for us. No denying it. No denying it whatsoever. You know, he's been really good second half of the season. Really good. But people won't allow you to believe that. He will get better and better. He absolutely will. My others are starting to enjoy the season. We score goals for fun. Do you know what? It's not been boring. You know, being fortunate to go to most games. Some games you've left and you think, Jesus Christ. But I think overall, when I reflect back on it, it would have been one way or another. It would have been an enjoyable season. There's been very few Chelsea matches this season that have been boring. You know, whether it's down to us or whether it's down to us getting smashed or whatever. You know, it's not been boring. We don't do boring games. Just tighten up defensively, defend set pieces better. I think that's the main thing. Defend set pieces better. And then obviously I think just the tactical setup as well. Just a few tweaks here and there of that. I always think Caicedo was quite having a good season. It was a matter of balance since he wasn't actually a pure 6. Yep, I absolutely agree. Yeah, 100%. I can't see us getting anything other than 3 points. But yeah, we'll definitely get a point. But yeah, people, going to round this one out. Big love for the support as always, guys. It's greatly appreciated, you know. Love for the support, guys. Really appreciate it. As I said, you know, the channel and the streams and all the shows and that are nothing without you guys getting involved. So I greatly appreciate it. Thanks so much for the support. Guys, on the way out, smash the thumbs up button. Make sure you hit the subscribe button as well. On the road to 10,000, every new subscriber is a step closer. So smash the like, subscribe if you're new around here. Enjoy the rest of your evening, guys. It's 4 wins in a row. One last dance on Sunday, final game of the season. Guys, I'll be back tomorrow dropping a video about Esteval Willian with a Brazilian football expert. Make sure you stay tuned for that one. If you've not checked out the match day vlog, make sure you check that out on the channel now from last night. And yeah, guys, enjoy the rest of your day. Have a good Friday. And there'll be a Bournemouth preview on Saturday as well. So yeah, lots of stuff coming, guys. Thanks for the support. Up the Chelsea and peace out.